And we are live, and welcome one and all. This is Robbie One Kenobi, and today I'm going to be doing something a little different. Today I am here joined by my good friend Brandon. Brandon, go ahead and say hello.
Hey guys, how you doing?
All right, so Brandon, of course, you may remember from my Royal Rumble 2016 predictions video and our follow-up, which was the Royal Rumble 2016 review. Today, we're going to do a different kind of review, and this is something that we've been meaning to do for a while now, and we just haven't had the time until, well, now, but better late than never. So this is a series I'm calling Robbie and Brandon Review, and today we're going to be reviewing WWE 2K16. I have it for PS3. He has it for the Xbox. But pretty much we're going to just review the game, tell you guys what we think, and maybe towards the end we'll give you our thoughts on what we'd like to see in WWE 2K17. But Brandon, as my guest, I'd like you to start, and I just want to get your overall thoughts on 2K16.
Overall, I know you and I don't have a net, but that's not stopping us from seeing how great the game still is on the PS3. Overall, I was very, very impressed after WWE 2K15 was such a dull game with a very tiny roster and not much to it. Just because we are still on the old gen consoles doesn't mean that we got gypped from the gigantic roster that this game has, and it's not even including the DLC, which we'll get to later. I was just in awe of the ginormous roster of 120 wrestlers. You can make up so many different dream matches, which I like that. There's so many different arenas thanks to the 2K Showcase mode, which we'll get to later. Overall, even on last gen on the Xbox, I'm very impressed with 2K16. It was definitely a refresher after WWE 2K15 was so dull.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, man. We do have older generation consoles, but I have to say that for 2K16, I feel like WWE 2K Sport, well, WWE Games and 2K Sports really stepped it up and gave us a very crisp, very fluid presentation. The game overall was great. I loved it. I feel like I really got my money's worth. And you brought up a great point. I think after we got WWE 2K14, which is in a league of its own because that was just an incredible wrestling game, we had some high expectations for WWE 2K15. Like, how can WWE 2K15 be as good or better than 2K14? And 2K15 was just very underwhelming. It just did not deliver what we were hoping for. You did get a good 2K showcase mode, but other than that, you had a depleted roster, and I felt like the AI was off. I felt like there were just parts of that game that could have been better, and that WWE just gave us somewhat of a very a very dull follow-up to 2K14. So going into 2K16, I wasn't sure if I was going to get it, but I'm so happy I did because I've had a lot of fun playing the game. It's very in-depth. Once you finish showcase mode, which we're going to get to in a little bit, it's not over. You still have a lot more to unlock and complete. And the game, there's just like a ton of great replay value in it. So I definitely give WWE 2K16 2 thumbs up. Game is just overall great, and I was very happy with the presentation and the overall quality. After 2K15 was just a very dull follow-up to 2K14.
Right, and in WWE 2K15, the DLC in the game was just as much as it was when you originally got it. There were three showcase modes in WWE 2K15, and they added like 20 or 30 or so members to the roster, which WWE 2K15 had only 63 superstars. I felt people really got gypped when they got WWE 2K15. Just so.
No, I hear you, Brandon, and I can attest to that because I was one of them that bought 2K15. I bought the season pass, which only came with Paige as the free downloadable character, and the 3 extra showcase modes. But the 3 extra showcase modes were very short. I mean, each of them had like 9 matches. and the one that had the most potential was the Path of the Warrior, the one dedicated to the Ultimate Warrior. And even though that was fun to play because it had a match that I was really happy to relive, Ultimate Warrior versus Macho King Randy Savage from WrestleMania 7, there were other Ultimate Warrior matches and moments that could have been included, and they narrowed it down to just 9. So I feel like 2K15 is the worst of the 3 2K games that have been released so far. I don't really see a redeeming factor in 2K15, even though there was that Who Got NXT mode, and we got to play as Neville and Rusev and Bo Dallas and Sami Zayn and Corey Graves. But 2K15 was just a very, very dull follow-up. It was a very inferior follow-up to WWE 2K14, and that's why at first I was very hesitant to say, yeah, I'm going to buy 2K16. But 2K16 really surpassed my expectations and really delivered just an awesome wrestling game. One of the best in recent years.
The one thing when the trailer originally came out, when they mentioned the 120 superstars thing, I was sold. I'm like, okay, I'm buying this. 120 superstars, I'm getting it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they picked a lot of – the best way to describe the roster of 2K16 is you have the current roster, then you have the best from NXT, then you have the best from the Attitude Era from 13, and the DLC from 2K15. You put them all together, and you have a stacked roster. And honestly, this is the best roster in any game I've played in recent years.
Yeah, I you can even argue it's probably I don't know, like 2K14's roster was fantastic, including all the DLC, but I don't know, man. In this case with 2K16, I think size does matter. 120 stars, including the NXT guys. Having all the NXT stars in the game was probably the best thing they could have done. And they did that, and I expect more of it in 2K17, but to me, size does matter.
Yeah.
I do think 2K16's roster does surpass 2K14's roster. Not by much, though.
Yeah. No, 2K14's roster was quite a nostalgic roster, especially after you finished the 30 Years of WrestleMania mode, because you had all these great legends and like, you know, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Triple H, you know, the retro versions, Yokozuna, Razor Ramon, Diesel, guys that I hadn't gotten to play as in years in any other WWE game. So the 2K14 roster is definitely one of the best rosters in recent years. But 2K16, like you said, size does matter. And when you do it like this, with that kind of caliber of roster, you're guaranteed a great game. And that roster just really blows 2K15's roster out of the water big time, DLC included.
Yeah, and then I think 2K14, if I had a word to describe that roster, I think it's the most comprehensive roster in WWE history, and it's the deepest. I think it has probably the deepest history out of any WWE roster game.
Indeed. The one thing, though, that I was a little disappointed in regarding the roster was that there was no 4 horsewomen in 2K16. I had to create Sasha Banks myself to add her to my roster, but I was disappointed that there was no horsewomen in this game at all.
Yeah, I'm thinking about probably going into community creations and probably downloading a Charlotte, a Bayley, a Sasha Banks, and a Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
The fact that you know 2K Games quote unquote didn't have time to put them in. Even Sasha Banks, I remember she put on Twitter that she was scanned for the game, but they never added her. So stupid.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate call. You know, definitely unfortunate for us fans who love the 4 horsewomen and wanted to play as them. Now I know for sure they better be in 2K17. I mean, if they're stupid enough not to include them, they're gonna lose a lot of fans that way. But we'll get to 2K17 later. Right now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the presentation of the game, graphics-wise and everything. Brandon, what did you think of the presentation and the character models in the game?
Well, you know, I was looking at I remember IGN put up a video of like a side by side comparison of how it looks on the last gen console and the next gen console, and I think it was just there to kind of put us down for those who have a last gen console. But while the character models are largely the same from like 2K15, 14, 13, and onward, I still think they look great. I mean, you can even argue that some of the faces on the last gen console look better than some of the faces on the next gen console. For example, I think John Cena looks better on the last gen console. I think Brock Lesnar looks better on the last gen console. As for the graphics, I think they're great. For the arenas, they all look the same. They all have the same old raw layout that we all are clamoring not to see anymore. We want actual pay-per-view stages back again. But I do think the WrestleMania 31 stage looks fantastic on both consoles. Um, and the presentation of the cutscenes in 2K Showcase I thought were great.
Indeed. The facial scans I think were a huge step up from the past, from the last game. When I played as John Cena for the first time and I saw his facial scan, I was very impressed with how realistic it looked. Finn Balor's facial scan looked great. A lot of great facial scans in this game. Presentation-wise, yeah, I mean the arenas all look great. They're authentic. Yes, we are tired of the same raw stage. We want authentic pay-per-view stages. And what I should have mentioned in our Royal Rumble review was that I really wanted them to do a Roman Coliseum, a Roman Coliseum stage, since it was all the promos were all about a Roman Coliseum. One versus all. I really wish they would have done that for the Royal Rumble this year.
Yeah, just like how it was in 2006, and it was in the same arena I think in 2006 in Orlando,
I
Florida.
Yeah, but getting back to the presentation, yeah, like I have played 2K16 and 2K15 on the PlayStation 4. The graphics are very realistic, but the graphics I have to say on the PS3 and Xbox 360 are great. They're a lot better than on 2K15. The facial scans have improved big time. I feel like they look as realistic as you can get for a last gen console, and that's not a bad thing. I was really impressed with the graphics. The entrances are great. Finn Balor's demon entrance was awesome the first time I saw it. I was just like marking out for it. Um, my only complaint is that I don't know if this happens on your game, but Enzo and Cass's voice acting, like the characters' mouths don't match up to what they're saying. Has that happened on your game?
As far as I'm aware, no, it doesn't. But I will say though, the thing that could have been improved was better sound on their voices. I don't think the sound on them sounds all that loud. I think they could have improved on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but the entrances look great. Presentation overall is great. Like I said, I loved how Finn Balor's demon entrance came about, how it was put together in the game. It just looks so it just feels so realistic the way they did it. I'm trying to think of another entrance or character in the game that stands out entrance wise. But the older arenas that we unlocked in 2K Showcase, they were great to see. How they were authentically brought back to life, whether it was WrestleMania 15 or Rock Bottom in your house, or even the WCW Bash at the Beach arena, or Beach Blast, whatever arena it was. That looked great. That just brought back great memories, and that's a testament to 2K16 or to WWE Games and 2K Sports staying loyal to the source material, whether it's past or present. So I definitely have to say that the presentation overall was great in this game.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, I think the hold on, let me think. I did like the idea how in the next gen consoles, how like when you start up a match and they go to the arena, it kind of pauses for like 5 or 6 seconds. It shows where the show is taking place, and then it does the entrance. I kind of wish they did that in the last gen console versions, but regardless, I still think the entrances look great.
Yeah. Now, one thing that like annoyed me was in the last gen consoles, you only get Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler's commentary. If you have it on the new generation console, you get Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler, and JBL. And every time Michael Cole would ask, "Let's get your thoughts on like this wrestler," and it would just like pause. I'm like, "What the hell is going on with my game? Is it not working right?" But then I found out when I played it on 2K on the PS4 that when he says that, it leads into JBL's commentary. So it's like, why not give us JBL's commentary as well in this game instead of on the next gen console? That's one thing I was annoyed by.
Yeah, they should have included it in a patch. I don't think that's too hard to put in. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, they might have exhausted the space of the disc, but really putting in JBL's voice as like a, I don't know, version 1.0 1.07 I think it would be. It's not that hard. It really
yeah.
shouldn't be.
Yeah, these are just little things, guys. But we're avid video gamers, so we're just letting you know what we think. We're not trying to nitpick, but JBL's commentary would have been great in this game. I don't get why we couldn't get it for the PS3 and Xbox 360, but Xbox One and PS4 got it. I'm just saying. But I did enjoy hearing Jim Ross's commentary. I feel like Jim Ross not being in 2K15 was a downer, especially when he did a great job with the King providing commentary for 30 years of WrestleMania mode in 2K14. So having JR doing commentary for the showcase mode was great. And I mean, there's no one better than JR, man. You can't beat JR. He's a legend.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna nitpick on one last thing here, and this is just very very minor. You know how they introduced like the electronic Titantron that's like on one of the sides of the ring, like at WrestleMania last year.
Yeah.
Like I noticed on the next gen consoles, like they actually like move around and they like animate actually, but on the older gen console, that it doesn't move around. It's just a very minor detail. Like the
Yeah.
problems I have with the game really are with minor details, but other than that, yeah.
Yeah. No, I hear you. It's just a little thing. I would have liked to have seen that in freaking 2K, in our copies of 2K16, but those are minor things. Those don't take away from the game. Trust me, if this game was bad, we would have been like ripping it up. But that's just one of the best wrestling games we've played in a while. So with that said, we're gonna get to the showcase mode, which is the main gaming campaign of 2K16. Now, showcase mode was introduced last year in 2K15, and for that they focused on two main rivalries: Shawn Michaels versus Triple H from 2002 to 2004, and John Cena versus CM Punk from 2011 to 2013. Now, when they originally announced in that game that it was going to be focused on key rivalries, I was excited because I was thinking Austin versus McMahon, Austin versus Brett, Austin versus The Rock, Shawn versus Brett, Undertaker versus Mankind, and so forth. Instead, they chose two rivalries from the new millennium, which were great rivalries for the most part. But I feel like 2K15 dropped the ball with that showcase mode. This year, they gave us a showcase mode that delivered, and it was only focused on one wrestler, and that is the cover star of this year's game, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And Brandon, I'm going to start with you again. I just want to ask you, what were your thoughts on showcase mode this year?
Well, initially, when I first heard that it was only going to be just with Stone Cold Steve Austin, I was disappointed when I heard about that because I kind of wanted a little bit more variety. But you still get a lot of variety in this one showcase mode alone. I
Yeah,
mean, it really does an excellent job taking you on a ride basically on Stone Cold's meteoric rise to excellence. It starts off in his match at King of the Ring, which pretty much started the entire Stone Cold regime. It even included his interview that he did with Michael Hayes. It was in the game. It was done very very well. And then it goes into detail about his rivalries with Bret Hart. It included the matches with him at Survivor Series '96 and the Classic in WrestleMania 13. Then it goes into detail about Shawn Michaels, his feud with Shawn Michaels, The Rock. It even included Vengeance 2001, where Chris Jericho won the Undisputed Championship. And then it has some bonus matches. You know, some of his matches in WCW when he was stunning Steve Austin. They even have his matchup with Mikey Whipwreck on ECW show. Overall, I just think it did such a fantastic job taking you through the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the cutscenes that they used with real video were great as well to have you hyped up for the matches.
Definitely, man. I mean, if you were gonna do a showcase mode on any great wrestler from the WWF/E, why not do Stone Cold Steve Austin? I loved the hype promos for every match. Those videos just got me pumped, you know, to get to relive these matches from Austin's career. And you had a wide variety of matches from Austin's career. Yes, you did get matches that have been featured before. Austin versus Shawn at WrestleMania 14, Austin versus Brett at WrestleMania 13. Still great matches to play as in the game. But then you get matches that you haven't played in before. Austin and Brett, Survivor Series 96. Austin and Shawn, King of the Ring 97, which was a big deal for me when I was a kid back in the day. Austin versus Undertaker at SummerSlam 98. You get a lot of key matches from Austin's career that help define who he was as undoubtedly the greatest star in the Attitude Era. I mean, there's a match, Undertaker and Kane versus Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H. I marked out for that because it was from Backlash. It was, you know, American Badass, Undertaker, and Kane versus the two-man power trip. They gave us a lot of different matches that we haven't played as or haven't played in previous games, and I just like that when you get a lot of variety. I mean, Austin versus The Rock at Backlash, and the cutscenes in it with like Austin giving Rock the stunner on the table with the camera in Rock's hand. It was just such great detail. The game was just very in depth. The bonus matches that you would unlock as you progress, like, you know, Austin in WCW as Stunning Steve Austin, and then his one match in ECW, and a match with Savio Vega. That's a name that I never thought I would mention in a WWE game, but getting to play as Savio Vega against Savio Vega and then getting to play as him when you pick him is great. And then the one thing I really liked about the showcase mode was once you complete it, you're not done. You know, in 2K15 showcase mode, when you finished the showcase mode, you were done. This year they added special objectives, which means you get to go back and play certain matches as the person that actually beat Austin, because you play as Austin the whole showcase mode. But with the special objectives, you get to play as the person that actually beats him, and you have to complete another set of objectives. And by doing it, you unlock more characters, costumes, arenas. It was just very in-depth. I loved it because it kept me coming back for more. And it just took showcase mode to a whole new level. You know, it could have ended right there, but then they added those bonus matches and special objectives, and it just made the game a lot more fun and challenging.
Yeah, it really shows how in depth that the developers really went with just this one superstar. It's amazing how in depth they went with just one superstar. I personally will.
I think I may have lost Brandon. I just want to say in advance, guys, if one of our streams cuts out abruptly during the show. Oh,
I think that's one of the most underrated. His love.
I'm sorry, what were you saying, Brandon? What did you think was underrated? Well, anyway, guys, like I said,
there we go.
Yeah. So what were you saying, Brandon? What did you think was underrated? I think I may have lost him. Like I said, guys, if one of our streams abruptly cuts out when we're throughout this live stream, we apologize for that inconvenience. Okay, I think I got him back on.
Is the video still going?
Yeah, it's still going. It's still going.
Oh, thank God. So I was I like doing the special objective. Dude, love it, Over the Edge on hard mode. I think that's one of the most underrated matches of Stone Cold's career.
Yeah.
And all the overbooking, all that stuff really worked. And I thought the most tedious objective was completing the Royal Rumble 2 more times. I just thought that was very tedious.
Yeah, you know what? That's the only special objective I have yet to complete because every time I get like close to winning, what they end up doing is they eliminate me under the rope. You know that mini game where like you're hanging on to the bottom rope and they have to like they try to force you out. I can never get that mini game down. I can never figure out how to play that mini game. I always get eliminated when it comes to that. I hate it.
Yeah, that objective really sucks. And I also didn't like the objective of winning the tag team championships with all those partners. That one was very.
I actually liked it because it stayed loyal to Austin's career, because those are the four. He held those titles with four different guys: Dude Love, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, and Triple H. So I honestly thought that was a really cool objective, that they went that far to say, hey, you have to win the titles with these four guys in order to unlock whatever it was that was unlocked. I don't even remember what it was, but I just thought that was cool because they put extra depth into the game. You know, they wanted to do something different. They did something unique as well, and I love the payoff. You know, overall. I will say this though, I wish Mike Tyson would have been DLC for this game, and you know why I say that, right, Brandon?
When I was that would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, but you know why I say it, right?
Why is that? Just tell everyone.
Because when you get to WrestleMania 14, there's an enforcer in that championship match, but it's not the enforcer you think. It's not Mike Tyson. It's just some generic, and I hate to say it like this, but it's true. It's just some generic white guy in a DX shirt. That's why I wish Mike Tyson would have been DLC as well. So you could have had Mike Tyson as the enforcer in the WrestleMania match, because you just get this generic white guy in a DX shirt. And I remember seeing it, and I was like, really? They couldn't get Mike Tyson for this. But that's, again, a little thing. The little thing. I mean, it doesn't hurt the game at all. I'm just saying I wish. I also enjoyed playing, if we're going back to showcase mode, thinking of another classic Austin rivalry. Austin versus Rock WrestleMania? Well, the fact that they included the Undisputed Championship match, a match that Austin lost to Chris Jericho, was surprising, but of course that gave us another Stone Cold, or another Chris Jericho character, Chris Jericho 2001. I thought that was cool. Overall, guys, the showcase mode, a huge step up from last year when you had two rivalries that were great, but it's like, if you're going to do a greatest rivalry showcase mode, there's tons and tons of other rivalries you could have done. Here, they took one of the greatest of all time, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and they gave him his own showcase mode. And honestly, his showcase mode was just great because they focused on one guy, and they included a lot of key matches and moments from his career leading up to his last match against The Rock at WrestleMania 19 and his Hall of Fame induction in 2009. Excuse me.
Out of the water.
Yeah.
It totally blew me out of the water. I loved it.
Indeed. Great showcase mode. Great, a superb follow-up to the very lackluster. Well, I'll give 2K15 showcase mode. I'll give it props. I thought it was good for the most part, but this is a showcase mode on a whole new level. It's just, it embodies what showcase mode should be about. And for one guy, you took his career and you made it seem so relevant again, so significant, so legendary, with cutscenes, video packages, voiceovers. It was awesome. I loved it. Brandon?
Big, it's up for me.
Yeah, big thumbs up indeed. All right, so unlike the past two games where you had the main game mode and then a special game mode on the side, 2K16 didn't come with a secondary game mode. It mainly came with the showcase mode, the special objectives, but there is there is DLC, of course, as with every other WWE 2K game and WWE game in general that has had a pre-order special. This year, the pre-order special was Arnold Schwarzenegger pack. You get to play as Arnold from Terminator 1 and Terminator 2. Brandon didn't order it, but I did. And other than the novelty of it being Arnold Schwarzenegger, now that I look back at it, it's not really anything special. I mean, yeah, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger as a Terminator. That's the novelty of it. But the pre-order itself, you know, that kind of DLC isn't really special. I will give the game developers credit for giving the two Terminators different move sets, including different finishing moves, and making them no-sell any kind of strike because, well, the Terminator is a cyborg. So if you punch him with your bare hands, you're not going to leave a dent. But if you hit him with like a weapon, you will do damage. So I will give them that credit for making the Terminator authentic as they did. It was fun when I played as Arnold. I think I've only played as both Terminators once, but I don't really think it's that great of DLC. It's not really a loss to me for pre-ordering the game. But Brandon, however, you ordered the season pass this year, and I used to get the season pass every year except this year after 2K15 was just failed to deliver a real good season pass. Now I want to ask you, Brandon, what your thoughts on this year's season pass are.
I added I'll be honest with you right now. I really never went into the new moves pack, although it did show like on the trailer some of the moves it does have. Like I know they have like Nikki Bella's Inzaguri. I know it has Finn Balor's Dragon Sleeper. I think it had Kevin Owens Sidewinder suplex. I don't know if they took that out or if they put that in. Again, I never really went into that, but I did go into the Legends pack, the Future Stars pack, and the 2K Hall of Fame showcase. The Legends pack, I thought we had wrestlers. Big Boss Man, rest in peace. Roddy Piper, rest in peace. Mr. Perfect, rest in peace. And Dusty Rhodes, rest in peace. And needless to say, all their entrances look great. They all have their proper finishing moves and all that stuff. And it's very fun, you know, to play as them. I even created a stable with the Rhodes family, as it was back in 2013 when they were feuding with the Shield.
Yeah, that's great.
And as for the Future Stars pack, it features Blake and Murphy, the Matadors, and Samoa Joe. I have not played as Blake and Murphy yet. I have not played as the Matadors yet, but I have played as Samoa Joe several times, and he's very, very fun to use. His entrance looks great. They really put in a lot of detail with him, and you know it's definitely going to be fun to recreate his matchup he's going to have with Finn Balor at NXT TakeOver Dallas coming up soon. And as for the Hall of Fame showcase, it features matches like Harlem Heat versus the Outsiders, the Bushwhackers versus the Natural Disasters, Alundra Blaze versus Paige, which has never happened before, but you can recreate that in 2K. It has Arn Anderson Sabisco, Dustin Rhodes, and Ricky Steamboat. And then it has Randy Savage and Jake the Snake Roberts from This Tuesday in Texas. I whipped through all of those in probably less than an hour and a half.
Yeah, I was gonna actually I was gonna say, Brandon, about that 2K. Hello, Brandon.
2K showcase.
Yeah. All right. I lost him again. But yeah, I'll say this. I didn't download the season pass this year because last year, you know, the season pass only gave me Paige as the free downloadable character and then three additional showcase modes for 2K Showcase, which were Mark Henry and was Mark Henry's Hall of Pain. One more match, which was the rivalry between Christian and Randy Orton, and the Path of the Warrior, which was dedicated to the Ultimate Warrior, which is all about Ultimate Warrior's career. But other than that, the other packs that I wanted to download in that game, I had to buy on my own, which I didn't because the 2K14 Season Pass gave you everything for free, just like this year's Season Pass did, and that's the mistake WWE made with 2K15. You know, you'll sell more Season Passes if you offer everything in the game for $30 or $35, whatever the fee is, you know. But I'm happy I didn't buy the DLC for 2K15 because, like I said, that game is just very underwhelming, very dull follow-up to 2K14, disappointing, just the worst 2K game in the series. But I feel like this year, the Season Pass, I didn't buy it, but this Season Pass is what a Season Pass should be. Get all the DLC for free. I mean, WWE, you want to make money, that's how you do it. Brandon, can you hear me? Are you back?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I can. So I wanted to ask you about the
Hang on. Hold on a second. Oh my gosh. Okay, what was the question you were going to ask me?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about the Hall of Fame showcase mode. I think that was very unique how they took this year's class and made a showcase mode out of it where you get to play a significant match from each Hall of Famer's career. I wanted to ask you, that Alundra Blaze and Paige match, that of course never happened because Alundra Blaze retired. Paige just started wrestling a few years ago. So, like, what are the objectives you have to complete in that match? And I know it happens at WrestleMania 31.
Alundra's finish. The German suplex was to give her signature, and I think one of them was to Irish. It was a fun. It was a good showcase matchup that they included.
Yeah, which showcase match from the Hall of Fame showcase was your favorite to play?
Definitely the first one, the Randy Savage Jake Roberts match, because Randy Savage and Jake Roberts was honestly one of my favorite feuds that WWE has ever done, and just so much personality, so much animosity in that feud, and it was definitely showcased, no pun intended, well in this match. You know, it played off the incident where Jake's snake bit Randy Savage on the arm.
Yeah.
It showed Jake trying to make his entrance, and Randy Savage attacked him from behind. And the way they put in the cutscenes were great. And yeah, I definitely had a lot of fun playing with that one the most.
Definitely. Now, is there one match from any Hall of Famer that you would have preferred over what they gave you in the showcase mode that you would have loved to have played?
If I can recall, let me think. You know, I think it actually would have been really interesting, even though this match wasn't all that good, have Alundra Blaze versus Leilani Kai from WrestleMania 10, or do Alundra Blaze versus Bull Nakano from SummerSlam 1994.
Yeah.
Imagine that. To play as Bull Nakano, that'd be really cool.
Definitely, because Bull Nakano is one of Alundra Blaze's most storied rivals. And, like, nothing against Paige. I think it was unique that they did Diva of the Past, Women's Wrestler of the Past versus Women's Wrestler of the Future for the showcase mode. But, yeah, if you were trying to do a match from every Hall of Famer's significant career, why not do the rivalry that put Alundra Blaze on the map against Bull Nakano? That would have been cool. I totally agree with you there.
Yeah, and then I know Paige has said at some Wizard World Comic-Con Q&As that her dream match would be against Bull Nakano, and then if Bull Nakano were in the game, you could recreate that.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't think she's. I don't know if she said that at the Comic-Con that I went to in San Jose when I got to meet her, but yeah, a Paige Bull Nakano Fantasy Warfare would have been great. So yeah, any other thoughts you want to get, comments you want to give on the showcase mode, the Hall of Fame showcase mode?
Um, I felt like they could have expanded it. You know, I think they could have given each of the Hall of Famers another match. You know, basically to kind of stretch it out, give people more than their money's worth. But
Yeah.
again, that's just a minor detail. I still thought the 2015 Hall of Fame showcase was great. It's definitely worth it. I think the 2K16 season pass is definitely worth picking up.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, the last year's season pass was a flop because you only got Paige as the DLC, and then you got the 3 extra showcase modes, but every other mode wasn't offered along with the season pass. And I was saying, if WWE wanted to make some money, why not give us everything for like 30, 35 bucks? That's a great way. You know, they'll make more money that way with the season pass, and we'll get our money's worth. But like I said, with 2K15, I don't really care that all I got was just Paige and the extra showcase modes, because 2K15 isn't really, I mean, I might even sell my copy back. I don't really, you know, even though, yes, Sami Zayn, Rusev, Bo Dallas, and Adrian Neville are in that game, but still, it's like, you compare 2K15 to 2K16, 2K16 blows 2K15 out of the water and far beyond. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's those two games aren't even on the same spectrum. Like, 2K15 is what you consider to be like the bottom of the barrel almost of WWE games the last 10 years. But I
Yeah.
think 2K16 at the end of the day, it's up there with 2K14 and SmackDown Here Comes the Pain.
Yeah, definitely. Now, all I wanted to say about the Future Stars pack was they should have given us better stars, because really, when you look at that, the one person that that you're gonna play as is Samoa Joe. I really don't care for Los Matadores. I wish they'd go back to being Primo and Epico. I really don't care for Blake and Murphy. I wish that the Future Stars pack would have been Samoa Joe, American Alpha. I'm trying to think that other, and Apollo Crews and Asuka. That's who I wish the Future Stars pack would have been this year. But of course, Cruz and Asuka didn't debut until later on in 2015, before the game, like right as the game was getting ready to be released. But that would be hey, for 2K17, and we'll talk about that at the end. That's what I want to see in the Future Stars pack. If they're not on the main roster of the game, Asuka, American Alpha, Apollo Crews, and I don't know who else, but that would be a great Future Stars pack. But I honestly think that for this Future Stars pack, they should have had better talent to join Samoa Joe. But what are your thoughts on that, Brandon?
I definitely agree with you. Again, like I said, I haven't played as Blake and Murphy yet. I haven't played as the Matadors yet. Samoa Joe really is the only appealing thing about the Future Stars pack. I was a little bit disappointed by it, but you know, you already have a lot of great NXT stars on the roster already, and you know, you can still come up with nice matchups with, you know, Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens, or like a Blake and Murphy versus, I don't know, the Vaudevillains or something like that. Recreate NXT Brooklyn. You know, there's still some diversity, but the thing is, I just wish they could have kind of thought about it a little bit better.
Yeah, the Future Stars pack could have been better. Maybe offer Samoa Joe as the DLC pre-order bonus, and then
Ah, that would have been sick.
yeah, that would have been sick. Because honestly, like I said, the Terminator, the novelty is there because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. But if you want a better pre-order bonus, I think Samoa Joe, because I'd have been playing as Joe more than I'd been playing as Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know,
Absolutely.
definitely. So, there was something else I wanted to comment about the Future Stars pack, if I can remember what it was. Or maybe they could have replaced Blake and Murphy with Alexa Bliss and Dana Brooke, and then man, who's that other NXT star that I they could have put, or maybe you could have had like for the Future Stars pack, since it was pretty much NXT guys. Maybe you could have had Samoa Joe, Alexa Bliss, Dana Brooke, Ty Dillinger, and I'm trying to think of that other guy. Not Bull Dempsey. I never cared for Bull Dempsey, to be honest.
Me neither.
Yeah, maybe you could have done the Future Stars pack that way. Samoa Joe, Dana Brooke, Alexa Bliss, Ty Dillinger, and American Alpha if there was time to squeeze them in. That's a better Future Stars pack than what we got.
I definitely agree, and I felt like they should have included. Again, we harped on this earlier in the video. Like a Divas Revolution pack. Put Alexa Bliss and Dana Brooke in there. Yeah, put Alexa Bliss, Dana Brooke, the 4 Horsewomen, and I would even throw in who else is no, yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah, because Emma's already she's already available on the game's main roster, so it'd pretty much be the 4 Horsewomen, Alexa, and Dana Brooke. That would have been a great DLC pack, and you could have done Samoa Joe as the pre-order bonus. And like we've said before, guys, these are just minor little things. They don't take away from the game. This is just what we would have preferred, you know, because really, if you buy that pack, Brandon, there's only one guy you're going to play as, and that's Samoa Joe, you know. And this is not a knock, you know, this is no disrespect toward Blake and Murphy or the Los Matadores, but, like, do I really want to play as those guys? No, I'd rather play as Samoa Joe. And why are the Matadores even DLC when they've been with the company for, like, what, almost 2 years now or something?
I know, let alone being in the Future Stars pack. Like, they're already on the main roster.
Yeah, nah, that was a bad booking decision by WWE and 2K Sports, because they're already on the roster. They've been on like pay-per-views before, so why are they considered future stars? Blake and Murphy, yeah, I could see where they're going with that, but I mean, if they were gonna do it with Blake and Murphy and Samoa Joe, then I just say take out Los Matadores and give us Alexa Bliss and Dana Brooke, or the 4 Horsewomen, or no, the 4 Horsewomen could be their own pack, but yeah. If that's what you're going to do, just give us Joe, Blake and Murphy, Alexa Bliss, and Dana Brooke. There you go. Future Stars pack. Much better than what we had before.
There you go. Yeah. And overall, I would give, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give WWE 2K16 on the Xbox 360/PS3. I would give it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was fantastic.
I would go there too, brother. I give it a 9 out of 10. I love the soundtrack choices this year too. This soundtrack was great.
Oh yeah.
Whether, you know, from a classic, from a Run DMC classic, like It's Tricky, to Till It's Gone by Yellow Wolf, Hello World by Kid Ink, and then the song that's like become an instant favorite of mine, Youth Gone Wild by Skid Row. Freaking A, man. Like, this soundtrack was one of the best. I loved it.
I love Youth Gone Wild, and I can't get enough of Rebel Yell.
Yeah, Rebel Yell's good. I don't think there's like one bad song on this soundtrack. Now, 2K15 did have good choices, good songs on their soundtrack, but then there were songs that just did not feel there. There was that one song, Ghost, that felt like a Justin Bieber disco song. I hated it. So 2K15, I will give them this. They had good songs for the soundtrack, like This Is War by Avenged Sevenfold, and Zero Visibility by Rise Against, and I'm Free by Nas, and I do not remember the girl's name, but this soundtrack this year, oh my god, like, I'd have to give it 5 stars. Just a great soundtrack. I could listen to every song, and it fits perfectly in this game.
And one other feature that I really love about it is that you can customize it all by yourself. You could even include some of the wrestlers' entrance themes like I have. I like that too, customization of the music jukebox, like they call it.
Yeah, that was great when the jukebox was introduced in 2K14. So you could customize the theme songs you wanted to hear. But what I hated was last year when I wanted to create the New Day, I couldn't upload anybody's music from like a CD or iPhone like they did in 2K14. You were limited to the music that you could choose. So 2K16 did the right thing with the create a superstar mode, and they brought back the option to upload your own music from a CD or an iPhone. That I love, and I'm thankful they did that because I hated when they did it last year and they took it away.
Oh, okay. I might have to go do that, and I might have to go on YouTube to see how to create Sasha Banks.
Yeah, yeah, but that's a great feature. Yeah, man, I give 2K16 a 9 out of 10 because it just delivered an awesome game from the gameplay, which is pretty basic, you know, if you play 2K14 or 15, to the showcase mode, the DLC, great soundtrack selection, huge roster of characters. I mean, when was the last time you ever thought you get to play as guys like X-Pac, the British Bulldog, Brian freaking Pillman, Savio Vega, Mikey Whipwreck, Farouk, you know, Kama Mustafa, and I could go on and on, but just those are like the retro guys, the legends, and then you got the main roster and the NXT stars. You got a stacked roster, dude, from beginning to end.
It's crazy. I never thought I would be playing as Savio Vega in a game. I never thought I'd be playing as Mikey Whipwreck. I never thought I'd be playing as Kama Mustafa or anybody from the Nation of Domination, really, except for D'Lo Brown probably. But
yeah,
it was fantastic.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm just trying to think, is there anything we missed about 2K16 before we move on to like what our predictions are for 2K17, what we hope to get. But I mean, we talked about showcase, we talked about presentation, gameplay, music, showcase mode, the DLC. I just wish that in the next game that they have an option where you can, like, remember back on like No Mercy and No Mercy and WrestleMania 2000 when you could give the superstars like different pieces of clothing instead of just changing the colors.
Yep.
I wish they would give us that for 2K17. Because I would look, because like I wanted to give Kevin Owens that red, white, and blue Fight Owens fight shirt, like give him that kind of alternate attire. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. And I was actually trying to go into editing a superstar. Like I was trying to edit Randy Orton because I absolutely hate the wrist tape that he wears, and I was trying to go back for him to have just like the normal black wrist tape, but I tried doing that. I didn't know how to figure it out, but I hope 2K17 does include that.
Yeah, because you can do it in 2K. You can do it on the next gen consoles. There's some kind of edit a superstar mode where you can like remove certain pieces of clothing, like if it was No Mercy. I wish they would bring that back. Because don't get me wrong, I like superstar threads because I like customizing my own color schemes for characters, for my character fits. But I want I want to edit a superstar mode where you can like give them different pieces of clothing instead of just editing the colors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
I think we should. I think in 2K17. What do you do with the roster? Do you make it as big as it was this year, or do you kind of tone it down and just current stars and still include a lot of NXT guys?
That's a good question, and you know we might as well tackle the issue of 2K17. What do we expect? What would we like to see? And what's going to be the focal point of this game? That's a real good question, Brandon, because when you look, I'm going to give you the perfect example of two games that are still great, but one had quite a superior roster, and then they toned it down in the follow-up. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Go back and look at Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and look at the roster of characters you could pick. Remember that game?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Okay, so Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had this. Yeah,
Marvel and Capcom.
So Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had this huge roster of Marvel and Capcom characters. And then you go to Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and it still had a strong roster, but it excluded key figures like Ken and Cyclops and I think Magneto's in it, but like I think the one thing is when you have a game that has a stacked roster, and then the follow-up game you have a roster that's as good, but it's not as good, if that makes sense. You kind of get disappointed. I think maybe we put too much expectations, or we expect too much from that kind of roster. So I think for 2K17, what their best bet is to do is have the roster consist of a majority of the best main roster and NXT stars, and then include Hall of Famers and legends, however you can unlock them. But I think they're going to have a task ahead of them, because when you give us 120 superstars, we don't want to see that roster get cut down. You know what I'm saying? But what do you think, Brandon? What do you think would be better for the next game? And there goes the connection again.
Sure.
Hello?
But no. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, size does matter, I think, in a game roster, but if they tone down the roster for 2K17, I wouldn't have a problem with it, just as long as, you know, they include the superstars that we wanted to see in this year's game, particularly the 4 horsewomen. If they can include the 4 horsewomen, if they can include, you know, Dana Brooke and Alexa Bliss and some of the notable tag teams in NXT, you know, keep the same current roster you had this year in 2K16 and put that all together, I still think you have a stacked roster. I think like 2K16 signified kind of like a new era of WWE games where you can have a really sustained roster, I think, for the next 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, definitely. I want to see the 4 horsewomen better be in this game. I mean, there's no reason why they shouldn't be included. I want to see Apollo Crews. I want to see Dana Brooke. I want to see Alexa Bliss. I want to see... Okay. This guy, I got a feeling he's going to be the DL. Take a guess who I think is going to be the DLC pre-order bonus this year. Take a wild guess, Brandon. I'm going to wait till he gets back online because I really want him to guess what I think is going to be the DLC, because I just thought about it. Okay, Brandon? Once again, guys, like I said, I apologize if our streams cut out unexpectedly. Okay, Brandon?
Hello?
Yeah. Brandon, can you hear me? Brandon!
I'm back online.
Okay, cool. So, Brandon, guess who I think is going to be the DLC pre-order bonus this year? Just take a guess. Brandon? All right, guys. Well, while I wait for Brandon to get back, like I said, I want to see Apollo Crews. What's up?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Austin Aries.
I honestly think it's going to be AJ Styles.
Ah, I see.
I bet you that's how they're going to get us to buy 2K17. I bet you he'll be the 2K17 pre-order bonus. I guarantee. I bet you that's who they're going to pick.
To be honest with you, I don't think it would surprise me if he's on the main game already. I mean, because I think there's like a WrestleMania deadline for them to include all the players they want in the roster. Yeah. I think he's going to be in the main game. I think it will be Austin Aries.
Yeah. Okay. So AJ Styles or Austin Aries, that's who we think. One of them will be this year's pre-order bonus. I don't know if they can fit this guy in the game, but if they want to make him as DLC because he's going to debut, I heard, at NXT TakeOver Dallas, Shinsuke Nakamura. You want to get sales for the season pass? Make him available via the season pass as well, Nakamura.
That would be absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just have really high expectations, I think, for 2K17, and I think I really feel that WWE Games is going to deliver again. I think we're going to see another great one coming in October or November of this year, whenever it comes out.
I hope so because, I was such a fan of 2K14 that when 2K15 was announced, I was looking forward to it because I was like, oh man, how's WWE gonna, what are they gonna do differently this time around? I'm looking forward to seeing how they take it to the next level with 2K15. And 2K15 just did not deliver at all. It just delivered a very flat game. I hated it. So when 2K16 came out, like I said earlier, I was not I didn't have high reservations for it at first, but then when I saw the roster. I saw the showcase mode. I said, screw it. Let's go for it. I bought the game. I do not regret it one bit. I love the roster. I love the gameplay. I love the showcase mode. This is what we should have gotten in 2K15, or at least 2K15 should have been a good follow-up with a stronger showcase mode, and then they gave us the big showcase mode with 2K16. But for 2K17, what do you think will be the main game mode? Who do you think is going to be the focal point of showcase mode this year?
Hmm. What better way to have Stone Cold as the featured showcase mode this year? I think you should maybe go into depth about The Rock's career, maybe, but
Yeah,
this time add more superstars to it. Not don't just talk about The Rock. I think a really nice showcase mode would be you're either Nexus or against us. Go in depth of the Nexus. I think that'd be really cool.
yeah.
Um, and I even think put in the four horsewomen showcase. Now that would draw.
You know how on the WWE Network there's that collection series, and one of them is the Four Horsewomen of NXT.
Yep.
There's your showcase mode right there. You want to do something different this year? You can have like a legacy or some kind of I don't know, I don't know how to explain this, but you want to do like various showcase modes this year. One of them should be the Four Horsewomen of NXT, where you get to play as all four of them, and um, it should culminate with either the Takeover Brooklyn match between Sasha and Bailey or the Iron Woman match. Because I don't know if they can include the triple threat match we're gonna get at WrestleMania. So that would be a great showcase mode to do, the Four Horsewomen.
Yeah, that would be absolutely incredible. Like if they did that on if they only focused on that, I wouldn't have a problem. I mean, but it's good to have variety. But if they just want to stay with the four horsewomen as the featured 2K showcase, I'm totally fine with that.
I'm totally fine with that. You know what they should? You know what I was thinking, Brandon? Maybe they should create like in WWE 13, how in the Attitude Era mode there was like 7 or 8 different chapters. Maybe they should do like one chapter of showcase mode can focus on somebody's career. Maybe Sting because he's going to the Hall of Fame, or maybe the Undertaker because Undertaker's going to retire soon. Then you can have a special NXT showcase mode, and then you can have the Four Horsewomen showcase mode. That would be awesome.
That definitely would be pretty awesome, and I just feel that you can really go in depth too with the four horsewomen. You can even have separate chapters. Charlotte and have like 3 or 4 matches with her. Becky Lynch have 3 or 4 matches with her. Sasha and Bailey, and so on. And I think you could even put Sasha and Bailey together. I think, and have the Takeover Brooklyn match and the Takeover Respect match.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's a great concept, Brandon. Whether it's separate chapters for the horsewomen or it's just one complete showcase mode where you start off as like Paige, and then you make your way as you wrestle as Charlotte and Sasha and Becky. That's the best way to really the best way to pay testament to the great women's wrestlers that NXT has, and that women like Paige and Emma are. I think that's great to showcase women's wrestling in such a positive and revolutionary way.
Yeah, that would definitely be perfect. And I think even though this wasn't really a match, I definitely think that if they do go on to do a four horsewomen showcase, include the moment when 3 of them got called up to the main roster. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. Definitely include the curtain call from Takeover Brooklyn if they do that showcase mode, because that curtain call was still one of my favorite moments in wrestling, man. Just to see all 4 of them in an arena like Barclays with the atmosphere and crowd that was in Brooklyn, that was just incredible, dude.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. I teared up a little bit watching that. It just showed me that women's wrestling can draw, and
Def
if they do this for 2K Showcase, it can draw. So do
definitely,
it, do
definitely.
it, do it, do it.
So, for the main showcase mode, would you prefer a Sting career retrospective or a Undertaker career retrospective?
Oh my gosh, you put me in a tough spot here. You know, if they were to do the Undertaker one or even the Sting one, really, it just pains me that they're not going to be able to put in Undertaker's match with Hulk Hogan at Survivor Series 91 because that's when he won his first WWF championship.
Yeah,
So, and I thought that was easily one of the biggest moments of Undertaker's career, but between them, I got to go with Sting. I think he'd be better.
yeah. For me, I can't really make a decision. Either career retrospective for showcase would be great because these are 2 icons in the business. They are the foundations of war. They are the loyal soldiers to their respective companies. So, what I would like is if there was a showcase mode called Foundations of War, which was taken from the Monday Night War episode about them, and you got to play as both Sting and The Undertaker in their respective careers, and then the final match is Undertaker versus Sting at WrestleMania. Now, I know it never happened in real life, but if you can do Alundra Blaze versus Paige in a dream match at WrestleMania, why can't you do The Undertaker and Sting?
That would be the absolute perfect conclusion of that, and
Yeah,
I think that would definitely get me interested. I like that
yeah.
idea.
Awesome, man. Yeah, we should definitely tweet that to WWE Games and 2K Sports and let them know that this season we think you should give us a Sting and Undertaker career retrospective for showcase mode, then a We Are NXT showcase mode, and finally a 4 Horsewomen showcase mode. Give us those 3 showcase modes. You got money there. You got it right there.
You got my $59.99.
Yeah, definitely. So is there any Hall of Famers you'd like to see in the future in this game, Brandon, like for DLC or in a Hall of Fame mode that we haven't seen already in the past games?
Hmm. Let me think about this for a minute.
Take your time. Take your time.
Oh, I got one. I got one. You should definitely put in Terry Funk. Terry Funk has not been in a WWE game since SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, I think. No, WWE 13 as a Chainsaw Charlie, excuse me.
Oh,
But
snap.
Terry Funk has had a storied career, and frankly, I think he would fit in very, very well with the roster. And you can definitely have some of his greatest moments in ECW history, and it could even get an excuse to put Sabu in the game, even though he's not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, no, I like that idea. That'd be great because I haven't played as Terry Funk in any wrestling games. I would love for Owen Hart. I wish Owen Hart would have been in this game, but he's never going to be involved in any kind of. You know why he'll never be involved is because his wife still has that deep hatred for WWE because of Owen's unfortunate death. So I really hope one day we get Owen Hart as a future Hall of Fame, as a Hall of Famer to play as in 2K15, any WWE 2K game in the future. But as far as this year, Hall of Famers, I would like to see even though he's not a Hall of Famer, I just haven't played as this guy in forever. I would like to see Psycho Sid as DLC in the future.
Yeah, and I just got another idea here. Um, I would definitely would love to play as the Fabulous Freebirds.
Oh, because the Freebirds are in the Hall of Fame this year. Yeah, definitely. Freebirds. I think every game the WWE and 2K Sports make, they should have a Hall of Famers or Legends DLC with like different legends that haven't been playable in the past. Like Junkyard Dog, for example. I would like to play as a Junkyard Dog every once in a while.
I would like to play as Greg the Hammer Valentine once in a while.
Yeah, or Iron Sheik, because I don't remember playing as Iron Sheik.
Other
Well, wait a
than
minute.
Colonel Mustafa.
Yeah, but I mean like the Sheik, not Colonel Mustafa, which I find funny that
Yeah.
if you play as him and you look underneath, his Twitter handle is the Iron Sheik, but he's Colonel Mustafa, which is like funny.
He puts up some funny tweets also.
He does, yeah. But yeah, as far as legends, I like to see in future installments of WWE 2K. Like for this year, I think Junkyard Dog would be cool because we haven't played as a dog. Give us like different, give us a diverse group of Hall of Famers every year for a DLC pack. So I think Junkyard Dog would be great. Ricky Steamboat's already in 2K16, so I wouldn't say Steamboat because he's been in games before, especially 2K14.
Harley Race.
Harley Race would definitely be a great one. Magnum TA never wrestled for WWE, did he?
No.
Yeah. So
Adrian Adonis. I don't know. I'm just throwing a name out there.
Yeah. I like that British Bulldog was featured in Dynamite Kid.
Yeah, recreate the British Bulldogs versus the Dream Team for the WWF Tag Team titles in WrestleMania 2. Bruce the Barber Beefcake.
Yeah. Or Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels as the Rockers. I like that.
Oh yeah, I would like that too.
See, what I think, Brandon, that WWE and 2K games should do is try to come up with different modes, with different showcase modes that don't necessarily have to focus on just one superstar. Maybe do like the best of tag team wrestling and have matches with the Rockers and the Hart Foundation and the Brainbusters. So then that gives us more diversity to play as different stars and we can unlock more characters. You know, that'd be great. And have it conclude with the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys and Edge and Christian in TLC matches.
I would definitely like that. It would be an excuse to put the Dudley Boys in the game because you know the Dudley Boys are going to be in the game. And yeah, bring back put the Hardy Boys in too. I like that.
Yeah, even if they are with TNA, put the Hardy Boys in as DLC for a tag team, best of tag team mode, or a tag. You call it tag team triumph, and then have the best matches from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s of tag team wrestling, and have the British Bulldogs, the Hart Foundation, the Brainbusters, the Rockers, Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys, maybe Demolition, because I have a friend that's like a big Demolition fan. Man, what was that other really good tag team? Orient Express, dude. That'd be sick too.
Oh yeah, definitely put in the Orient Express.
See, like I said, WWE and 2K Sports have so much to work with. They just need to look back a little bit for inspiration. And we can always definitely tweet these guys and say, hey, I'd love to see this in the game, that in the game. But they have so much they can work with to give us better showcase modes in the future and give us great games overall, you know?
Yeah, and again, I think WWE games are going to stay relevant for the next, I want to say, 4 or 5 years, and I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. So is there anything else you want to add, Brandon, about WWE 2K17 in terms of who you want to see in the game, who you think will be the cover star, a future mode you're interested in?
Cover star wise, I think it's going to go to Roman Reigns.
Okay.
But other than that, I think I got all my thoughts out.
Yeah. Cover star will probably be Roman Reigns. AJ Styles as cover star would be great. I would love if they do DLC and they're able to include Nakamura after he debuts at NXT TakeOver Dallas. I don't know about the Bullet Club if they'll be able to make it in time, and then you can include them in DLC. But what we agree on is we want a Sting or Undertaker career retrospective for showcase mode. We want an NXT mode that's better than the last NXT mode from 2K15. And then we want a 4 horsewomen showcase mode. That's the 3 things we definitely agree on.
Yes, absolutely. If they put that in, you can have my $59.99.
Yes, definitely. And we want AJ Styles in the game. We'll most likely get him. We want Austin Aries. He might be DLC. Yeah, for DLC, I want AJ, Nakamura, and Austin Aries. And in terms of other stars who should just be on the main game roster, Apollo Crews, Asuka, Dana Brooke, Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, American Alpha, and all the other standouts from NXT that are already on the roster, like Balor, Tommy, Baron Corbin, Enzo and Cass. Add Dash and Dawson. I think they'd be great.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to their match tomorrow night at Roadblock with Kaz and Enzo.
Yeah, definitely. That should be a really good tag team match. All right, guys. So that is the first installment of Robbie and Brandon review. We reviewed WWE 2K16. We're hoping to get this as a series because Brandon and I, we love video games. We want to review current games. We want to talk about future games. We want to review retro games. We definitely want to do a Super Smash Brothers series because this guy is a huge Super Smash Brothers fan, and that's something we definitely want to talk about. I would definitely love to talk to you about that, Brandon, in the future. Brandon, if you want to, well, actually, before we wrap this review up, I'm gonna do a Roadblock predictions video later tonight. I already made a video about this, but I just want to get your thoughts on one match because you've been very vocal about this person in general. I want your thoughts on Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt tomorrow night.
This is a match I'm not looking forward to. This match is going to go 5 minutes. Bray Wyatt is going to get he's going to get whooped. He's going to Suplex City. He probably won't even do a Sister Abigail to Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar is just that awesome. Brock is probably going to take out Braun Strowman and all the other members of the Wyatt family. Bray Wyatt, don't even get me started. This guy just has so much missed potential, and they're just using him. They're booking him so horribly. They had him. They trotted him out there for that main event with Dean Ambrose on Raw. And it did nothing for him to build his matchup with Brock Lesnar. It's just going to be a sad match to watch. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, like I said, guys, I have a whole video dedicated to this topic because I, like Brandon, believe that Bray Wyatt has tons of potential and WWE has no direction for him. They've misused him ever since he lost to John Cena at WrestleMania 30. Brandon and I could do we could do a live stream together about why we think Bray Wyatt deserves better and how we would rebook him. But yeah, I just wanted to get his thoughts because he's been very vocal about the mistreatment of the Wyatt family in general. If you haven't already, go check out the video I did about Brock versus Bray tomorrow night at Roadblock. I don't need to go into further detail about it because that's pretty much my prediction. I just hope, and I'm gonna say this, I just hope that after this, Bray Wyatt takes time off. He's able to develop a darker character. WWE is able to give him the right time and book it, and then he can come back even stronger with a vengeance.
Definitely. And speaking of Roadblock, one of my next projects is going to be a double feature. I will be reviewing not just Roadblock, but I will also be reviewing Fastlane. I have not reviewed that, and I will. That's my next project.
Definitely. So, guys, make sure to check out Brandon's channel. I have his Twitter and his YouTube channel linked down below. He makes great reviews. He makes great gameplay videos. Make sure to give this guy a like and subscribe to his channel. He definitely deserves it. He's a very good friend of mine. I'm happy to know him. I love collaborating with him on videos like this. Brandon, anything you want to say about anything else you want to say about 2K16 or any project you're working on or any plug you want to give to your channel?
Yeah, again, we'll be working on a double feature, probably Sunday, probably upload it probably sometime very soon. Subscribe to me, the Wrestling Fan 16. I could definitely use some subscribers. I make great videos, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy them. Follow me on Twitter at TheGamerman16. I talk wrestling, I talk sports, I talk about some of my favorite TV shows, that kind of thing. I think you'll enjoy that. And yeah, I just really enjoyed doing this video with you, Robbie. Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course, man. Thank you for joining me. Like I said, guys, Brandon and I are hoping to make this into a series where we review, past games, current games. We'll definitely talk Super Smash Brothers because that is, like I said, this guy's favorite franchise. So I hope to do big things with this review, Robbie and Brandon review. Maybe we'll even step out into the world of movies and review movies every once in a while. But definitely keep your eyes out for a future edition of this. I hope to make this series as big as I can, just like with Robbie's Roundtable, which I haven't done recently, but I will do in the future. And that's pretty much it, guys. And if you guys get a chance, please go to our YouTube channels and look for the videos we did saying why we want to be on Up, Up, Down, Down. And if you like those, of course, click that like button and tweet it to Xavier Woods and the members of the New Day and the staff over at Up, Up, Down, Down. And who knows, maybe you can get Brandon and I on a future episode because that's our dream, to play wrestling, video games in general, with the WWE Superstars and Divas. So thank you again, guys, for watching and listening. He is Brandon, the Wrestling Fan 16 and the Gamer Man 16. I am Robbie One Kenobi. Give us your thoughts down below on 2K16. What you want to see in 2K17, who you think will be the cover star this year. Do you think AJ Styles will be DLC? Should Nakamura be DLC? And we will see you all later. Enjoy Roblox. Enjoy your weekends. Stay classy. Peace.